There are moments when it feels like God is silent and our prayers are bouncing off the walls of an empty room. Yet let me assure you, there's purpose in that silence, a purpose we may not always comprehend. Ever wondered why God doesn't give us a step-by-step manual for life? It's because He's not just interested in puppeteering our every move. He's a patient teacher, guiding us to think, make decisions, and grow into the resilient beings He designed us to be. The silence is His way of saying, I believe in you, trust the process. Crucially, understand that God's silence doesn't signify an obligation on His part to answer or inform us. It beckons us to believe that even if today is not the day, one day He will make all things right. This belief is rooted in the assurance that His timing is perfect. At times, God's silence may even be a sign of trust in us. He knows that obedience is the key to unlocking the understanding of His will. Obedient hearts, it seems, are more attuned to hearing the voice of God. Now let's talk about those moments when you're desperately seeking guidance, and it seems like God has hit the mute button. Don't panic. It's a test of trust. He wants you to learn to believe even when the world around you is silent. This trust, my friends, is the antidote to fear and confusion. In those moments when God's silence feels like an impenetrable wall, it's natural for us to grapple with questions and uncertainties. The seeming absence of God's voice can be perplexing, especially when we earnestly seek His guidance or relief in times of difficulty. In the book of Job, we see a powerful narrative of suffering and God's response. Job 38:1-3 illustrates that sometimes God's answer to suffering is a revelation of His majesty. Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, Who is this that darkens counsel by words without knowledge? Dress for action like a man. I will question you, and you make it known to me. God's response challenges Job's understanding and emphasizes the importance of listening to God's voice, even when it seems silent. So let us keep talking to God even in the silence, knowing that His love and trust endure. For Job, God's silence wasn't a void, but a testament to the depth of their relationship. God trusted Job, saying, Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man who fears God and turns away from evil? Job 1:8. Crucially, God's silence is not an invitation to doubt or stop praying. It's an urging to persist in seeking Him diligently. No circumstance can drown out His voice, and no pain can silence our King. Even when His voice seems distant, we can turn to the examples of Job and David crying out in Psalm 28:1, To you, O Lord, I call, my rock, be not deaf to me. In moments of silence, remember that, just like Jesus on the cross, God's quietude can be an indication of His sovereign will. In such times, pray for the grace to accept and understand His plan. God's silence is not abandonment. It's an invitation to dig deeper. It's a challenge to trust and believe in His timing, even when the clock seems to tick in slow motion. As you wait, know that something great is brewing. God's silence is not a void, but a deliberate pause. He is not absent. It might not be the appointed time for His words to resound in our lives. While God may appear silent during times of suffering, the Bible reminds us that His ways are higher than ours, and His thoughts are beyond our comprehension. Isaiah 55:8-9. In moments of silence, trust in His sovereignty and acknowledge that His plan, though not always immediately evident, is ultimately for our good. So when God's silence persists, do not lose heart. Instead, anchor your faith in the belief that He who knows the depths of our hearts is orchestrating a beautiful symphony, even in the moments of apparent stillness. In trusting His divine wisdom and perfect timing, find a peace that surpasses understanding. God's silence might not be a sign of displeasure. It could be a demonstration of trust and love. Perhaps He wants you to rely on Him more, to nurture your faith, and to savor His presence. Silence in this context becomes a form of communication, an intimate way for God to express affection and deepen your connection with Him. So, keep talking to God, even in the silence, knowing that His love and trust endure. Moreover, God's silence is not a sign of distance, but an opportunity for deeper connection. It's an invitation to lean on faith, to trust beyond understanding, and to find solace in the assurance that He is present, even in the quietest moments. Remember the words of Psalm 46:10, "Be still and know that I am God." In the silence, there is an invitation to be still, to surrender your need for immediate answers, and to recognize the majesty of the divine presence. In your journey of faith, embrace God's silence as an opportunity to strengthen your trust, deepen your connection, and ultimately draw closer to the one who holds your past, present, and future in his hands. God bless you. By subscribing, you become a vital part of our mission to spread the word of God and uplift countless lives. Join us in making a positive impact. Hit that subscribe button now.